Yeah, hear you now.
Okay. Spaulding Red Raiders and the Exeter High Bluehawks hooking up here at Spaulding Field in Class L baseball. I'm Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano. Nice, bright, clear day here at Spaulding Field as the Red Raiders 2-3 taking on a 2-4 Exeter team coached by John Walker. And the first batter being faced by Spaulding pitcher Jim Collins is Willie Lees, a left-handed batting second baseman and a senior. Eric DeRoches, a sophomore shortstop, and the senior pitcher Matt Bruce will follow as Lees gets on base via a walk. And that'll bring up Derek DeRoches, the shortstop. The Exeter Bluehawks, Jim, they started off beating Alvern in extra innings and then beating Spaulding 5-4. That was their last win back on April 14th. I'm told they've since dropped their last four, and they have their starting infielder and one of their pitchers, Derek DeVito. He took a little trip to Europe this week for a soccer trip, so a good cultural experience for Derek, but that takes a player out of the lineup. A drive laced to right center, coming over for Donatello. And going on to third is Lees, and Derek DeRoches is on first with a base hit to right center.
That ball was well stroked, well placed between center and right. Runner on first base goes all the way to third base, standing up.
So Collins getting in a pickle right away, Jim.
Yeah, talking about the Exeter Blue Hawks, as you mentioned, the standings of winning 2 and losing 4. They lost to Pickerington, West, Central, and Nashua.
4 pretty good clubs right there. I saw the game that they lost to Central to, I believe it was 6-2, and they gave up 13 hits. Matt Bruce, the batter. We understand Matt Bruce pitched against the Red Raiders back on April 14th, which was the opener for Spaulding. Up high for a ball.
You notice Matt is batting number 3 in the third position, and justly so, because he's got a batting average of 500.
Well, that's certainly a good enough reason to bat in that slot. Throw over, grab by Donnelly. Don't want to make a mistake early on and give the visiting team that advantage right off the bat. Red Raiders coming off a tough 1-0 loss to Dover, and it's fouled back and out of play. A game that head coach Hugo Bolden said, Jim, he just felt his club wasn't ready to play and he didn't know why. What can you say about it on a high school level type of thing? They faced a pretty good pitcher in Chris Brooks, but they only got 2 hits.
Yeah, what Hugo didn't like about the team in the dugout is lacking enthusiasm. It wasn't there.
And I know you're a big man on enthusiasm as Donatello comes over, makes the grab in right center. It'll be a sacrifice fly for Bruce, and it's 1-0 Exeter as Lees comes home.
This Matt Bruce looked good up at bat on that one.
Okay, an RBI and a sacrifice fly.
Your Hugo Boland's trying to get some juice right into these ball players. Get some spark. They've got the ammunition to do it.
Brett Elmore, the senior center fielder, at the plate now. Collins up high for a ball. Talking in the dugout before the game, just sort of kidding around about experience with the ball club. And it comes down to where most of these ball players, this is a ground ball. It looked like a single going down the left field line. And, well, let's give it as a double. And runners on second and third, and Collins in more trouble here in the top of the first. They took a sharp hop past the third baseman, Panelides, it looked like, Jim.
Hey, it looks like Exeter came with their hitting shoes on. They're wasting no time. There's timeout called by Hugo now. Wants to just talk to his pitcher.
As we were saying, as we now have runners on second and third and 1 out here in the top of the first inning. And that's going to be it for Jim Collins. He's out, and here comes Mr. Brian Callahan. So he's making the change right now, Jim.
Well, he's wasting no time. He figures in these high school games, either you need 1 or 2 runs to win the game or it doesn't. So he's taking no chances.
So Brian coming on with the warm-ups. What we were talking about, referring to experience and youth on the team, the fact that what it comes down to is these ball players all have baseball playing experience. When it comes to varsity experience, only 2 of them returning had that. So, you know, you're talking about the fact that it wasn't a young team baseball-wise, just varsity experience-wise. 4 seniors, 5 juniors, and then a smattering of sophomores and the freshman Jamie Keefe. Basically, right? We were talking about that in the dugout before the game.
To me, they're still good young ball players.
You know who's going to tell you? He's going to listen to you saying that again. Brian Callahan. But I agree with you on that, that certainly this is a club that, as the season goes along, can only learn from the Class L wars, varsity-wise, and really learn a lot.
Looks like they're ready, but they're in trouble already. Well, this is what Spaulding didn't want to happen, is to get behind the 8 ball in the first inning by 2 or 3 runs.
Well, they're down by 1 right now, and Brian Callahan's got to work himself out of a jam that
See if he
Jim
can put
Collins
up a fire.
got himself into, is what happened. So he's trying to get out of this mess. Their umpires today, Greg Cadulary behind the plate, Tom Gilpatrick on the bases, strike called. Boy, doesn't this feel really great? That bright sunshine on the field, Jim.
Beautiful. If it wasn't for that wind, it'd be an ideal baseball day.
The wind follows us wherever we go. And I don't tell you, right now as we're speaking, there's not much hope to get rid of it for another week or 2. But I'll tell you, it's really nice to have the sun out here. Nice day for a baseball game, and there's a track meet going on and everything at this point. That's where you hear the...
Well, there's a big out right there.
And a pop-up caught by the second baseman, Sean Viney, so he gets 1 out. He gets McDougal to pop up.
Now, this could mean a big out for Spaulding. If they get through with this inning, Exeter only scoring 1 run, it could put some motivation with the whole ball team.
Here's the senior left fielder, Chris Stammis. And swing and a miss. Frank Callahan, as usual, on the clock and the public address system here at Spaulding Field. Looks like it's a late arriving crowd, Jim. Not too many in the stands right now. So Callahan with the count in his favor, 0-2.
This is what you want as a pitcher. Stay ahead of that batter, especially the situation that he's in now with the man on second and third. 2 out, 1 run in.
A delivery rides outside for a ball. Next game we'll do beyond this. Raiders play their first night game at home on the 5th.
Nice
A swing and a
job.
miss on Stammis, dropped by the crop of the catcher, but he tags him, and Callahan got out of that problem, leaving those 2 runners at Exeter. They picked up 1 run. They had a couple of hits, but they left 2 stranded. After 1/2 inning, Exeter 1, Spaulding coming to bat.
Mother Pluckers and MP outlets, quality instruments, and a full-service music center that everyone is talking about. Up to 40% off on selected models of all brand names, including JB Player, Robin, Schecter, Rickenbacker, Johnson Dean, Hammer, Gibson Epiphone, Washburn and Fender guitars, Akai keyboards and samplers, Simmons and Premier drums. They're New England's full-service music outlet and instrument electronic repair center. Mother Pluckers and MP's outlets, Newington Mall and Lilac Mall. Let us help you make the magic.
Going to the bottom of the first inning, the Raiders down 1-0. This early in the game, the leadoff hitter, the senior second baseman, Sean Viney. He fouls it down the third base coaching box. Nice catch by Hugo Bolden down there, coaching third, as he scooped it up, fired it back to the pitcher, Matt Bruce. Jim, you have some statistics on Mr. Bruce.
Yeah, Bruce his standings in high school ball is he won 1 game and lost 2. The only game he won was against the Red Raiders.
He's a junior.
He's not only a pitcher, but they tell me he's a hitter, batting well over 500. Bonnie going up the bat. I notice in the Spaulding Red Raiders dugout, a lot of chatter, a lot of cheering. They're all standing up.
And the ball, well, we were talking about that at the opening of this broadcast, that I think head coach Hugo Bolin worked on enthusiasm in practice in between the Dover game and this one.
Well, as I always say, Pete, the most powerful ingredient any ball player can have is enthusiasm, because that breeds confidence.
Bonnie swings and misses for strike 3.
Beauty.
And we're going to take a look at that, I guess, a 3-camera shoot that we have today, Jim. And that looks pretty good to us. And here's the junior third baseman, John Pantelides.
Oh.
It was a strike call, rode the outside corner, to the disagreement of some fans down below. At least that's what I thought I heard. Here comes the pitch, and it's swung on, loop down near the left field line. That's a base hit for Pantelides. Let's see if he's going to go for 2. He is. Here comes the throw in, but easily Pantelides sliding in with a double, and the Raiders have 1 on and 1 out here in the bottom of the first.
Well, that's the way to do it. That could be the spark of Callahan coming in there and putting out the fire with runners on second and third that Exeter had, and closing the door.
That obviously was the big thing right there for Callahan coming in and getting those 2 outs.
We got a switch over here with Jamie batting second.
Okay, Jamie Keefe batting third in the order. He's the shortstop. The throw to second, and saved by the second baseman, Willie Lees, from going into center field. Looking at the rest of Spaulding's lineup, Wayne Cropple batting 4th and catching. Andy Donatello was hitting 5th, the center fielder. Brian Callahan was DHing for Jim Collins, so I would assume now that we're going to just have Brian batting for himself, taking the DH out of there, obviously. Guy Donnelly at first, Kevin Ford in left, and Alan Wickstrom in right. Fouled off at the plate for a strike.
That must sting on a day like this. That ball seemed to have gone right off his right ankle.
Oh, and 1 the count.
That hurts.
Now, both teams certainly like to get this into the win column. You get 2 wins at this stage of the season, still early. Want to pick up one. Of course, one of those wins was by Exeter, 5-4 over Spaulding. We understand 4 unearned runs of those 5 in that game, and Brian Callahan was the pitcher of record for Spaulding, and hopefully he can turn the tables today.
Matt Bruce threw a beautiful curveball on that last pitch.
Is the delivery up high, 1-2 the count.
Jamie has to protect that plate right now.
Defensively, for the Exeter Bluehawks in the outfield, we've got Chris Stammis in left, Brett Elmore in center, and Jay McDougall in right. Is the delivery inside, 2-2.
The 1-out man on second base, third baseman and shortstop are playing in. Very close.
Dan Clemens is the third baseman, and Derek DeRoches, a sophomore. Clemens, a junior, is the shortstop. Willie Lees at second base. As is a ground to hit down to the third baseman, Clemens. He looks to run it back, throws to first, and he's safe. And over to third goes Pantelides. So an infield hit for Keefe, and runners are at the corners.
I'll tell you that shortstop that we have, Derek, the sophomore, number 8, if he would have pumped and faked that throw to first base, they would have had the runner off second base. Pick them off.
So going over was Pantelides, and that's Wayne Cropper, the cleanup hitter and the catcher for the Red Raiders. So we've had a lot of base runners in this game so far. We've had 4 hits and 1 run scored, so might not turn out to be a pitcher's duel. We didn't have anywhere near this down in the Dover game, Jim. That was that 1-0 game. hitting was hard to come by in that game. I'm sure Hugo Bolin, the head coach of the Raiders, like his club to break out. That went for a high pitch to Cropper and fouled it directly over the booth here at Spaulding Field.
Well, Hugo's philosophy is don't wait for any pitch. If it comes your way and it's over the plate, I want you to hit that ball. Go out swinging. Be interesting, first and third, one out.
And there's a flooper going out to center field. That should, no, I thought it would drop in. Nice catch by Elmore. The throw to the plate, though, not in time, and it's 1-1.
Oh, yeah, that was a fantastic catch there. That saved runners from being on first and third with only one out. Great catch by the center fielder, Brett Elmore.
Going to get another look at it,
there.
Jim.
Nice swing. The runner from first almost to second base, but he center fielder Elmore coming in fast, dives and makes a beautiful catch.
2 outs in the inning, but the game is tied at 1-1 as Panelides came across on Cropper's sacrifice fly. And Andy Donatello, junior center fielder, is the hitter for the Red Raiders here at Sunsplash Spaulding Field at right here at Spaulding High School in Rochester. I'm Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano and our usual technical and camera crew here today. Paul Mannion, Greg Brooks, John Rodenhouse, Bill Young, and Steve Lewis. And there goes the run of the throw down, not in time.
Jamie had a real good jump on that pitch.
Oh, Jamie Keefe coming up with another stolen base. Tried one against Dover's Craig Burley, but that senior catcher threw him out the other day.
He had quite a gun on that.
Certainly. My understanding is...
Burley.
Excuse me, Jim. My understanding is that Craig Burley is set to go to the University of Southern Maine, a solid Division III program in New England, and could start next year behind the plate.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that? With a gun like that, he could start anywhere.
Absolutely.
Pleasure to watch when he gets the throw down there.
Well, any base hit now, you may see the second run come in for Spaulding.
Pitch rides inside. We did want to mention something. I guess there's a grandson of a player that you played
Murillo.
with, Matt Murillo, the grandson of Lenny Murillo, who you played baseball with, what, for a year or two in the minors?
Yeah, we're going way back. And
well, I thought I'd bring it up anyway, so you've
way
seen
back
some
in that Northern League. Had some great players up there. We had your Dave Ferris came from there. Chuck Connors, the rifleman, was playing up there.
Now, what teams did the Northern League, what was it comprised of, Jim?
Well, you had Montpelier, you had Brattleboro, you had Bennington, St. Albans, Montpelier. You had one team from, you had from New York. It was Glens Falls, New York.
Oh, yes, good old Glens Falls. So you played up there for a couple of years?
Yeah, with the I was with the Montpelier Senators.
There's a delivery and a swing and a miss, and that's the end of the first inning as Donatello goes down swinging for the third out. But a run on a couple of hits for the Red Raiders after one complete inning of play. We're all tied at 1 apiece.
Introducing the biggest and most beautiful showroom, New England Furniture Company of Farmington, with acres of living room sets to choose from. Beautiful choices, elegant, and priced to please. And look at all the recliners that are available. New England Furniture Company specializes in a wide selection of dining room sets and all types of home furnishings to make your home complete. Quality, value, style, all at low factory prices in the most beautiful new showroom around. New England Furniture Company in Farmington.
At the top of the second inning here at Spaulding Field, 1-1 tie. I'm Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano. And for the Exeter Bluehawks, 2-4 on the season, the catcher, Travers Evans, a senior, will lead off. The first baseman, Doug Rohr, and the third baseman, Dan Clemens, will be the next two hitters. Pitched by Callahan on in relief of Jim Collins, a strike called. So maybe it could be Brian's revenge today, Jim, as he's in a 1-1 tie here, and he did pitch against these teams on opening day.
This is the secret of winning in high school ball, or any ball, matter of fact, is to have control. Get ahead of those batters. Once you get 2 strikes, you put that batter on the defensive side.
Delivery, ground ball to third. Panelides bobbles, recovers, throws in time. Stayed with it again, as we've seen Spaulding infielders do so many times this season, staying with that ball and getting it over for the out.
Yes, he anticipated that real well. A third baseman can always drop that ball in front of him if he's got a strong arm and throw him out.
Here's Doug Rohr, senior first baseman. Blue Hawks trying to break a 4-game losing streak after winning their first 2. Another ground ball. Panelides easily on the hop over to first. Plenty of time for out number 2. Just what you want is right there.
Infielders eat those balls up. They love them. 2 hops in the glove and a good throw to first base.
Third baseman Dan Clemens is the hitter, as he's the 9th batter in the order. If he gets on, they'll go to the top of the order with second baseman Willie Lees.
Looking at this infield, Pete, too, the only way you can make an error if there's a 2-pick out there. This field is manicured.
It certainly is. Strike call. We have an excellent location to see this game, too, here up in the press box with Frank Callahan, and away from the whistling wind if it comes on your back. Sort of a protective measure.
Pete, I'd call that a biting wind.
Well, I know the biting wind is out there swinging it. Boy, did he fool him swinging a miss, as Clemens had little idea of what to do with that pitch.
Beautiful. Nice, slow curveball.
So after coming on relief with runners on second and third and 1 out in the first, Brian Callahan goes outside trying to retire his 5th successive batter. Delivery, and he does. There's a swing and a miss, an outside curve for strike 3.
Had him fooled all the way, Pete.
He certainly did, and a 1-2-3 inning for Brian Callahan and the Spaulding Red Raiders. After 1.5, it's a 1-1 tie here at Spaulding Field.
Theater Video in Gonick and in Dover, featuring one of the largest selections of Nintendo games in the Seacoast. Over 70 different games to choose from. You too can catch the Nintendo craze by renting the player unit as well. Theater Video offers a wide selection of up-to-date movie rentals with special rates on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. VCR rentals are available, and if you rent 3 movies, you get the 4th free of charge. Theater Video also offers theater-sized candy, just like at the movies, as well as those irresistible Sinful Suckers. So come on down and rent as many Nintendo games and first-run movies as you want, and say hello to Morris and Mary Cody at Theater Video, with locations in Dover and Route 125 in Gonick.
Bottom of the second inning here at Spaulding Field. A 1-1 tie between the Red Raiders and the Exeter Blue Hawks. And here's Brian Callahan, the pitcher. He actually was in the lineup as the designated hitter for Jimmy Collins, and he helps himself mightily by driving it up against the fence in left center. It'll be an easy 2-base hit for Brian Callahan, leading off the bottom of the second inning.
Boy, he just took that rhythm swing right there, and clean base hit right between left and center field. Went up in a second, standing up.
Well, we should say it now. The experience of Brian Callahan, of the veteran awareness, is starting to tell, Jim. He did gain a lot of experience last summer. There's no doubt about that. We had to get that in, Brian. The pitch fouled off at the plate. Guy Donnelly, senior first baseman, another person who has gone through the baseball wars. So we're in the bottom of the second inning, a 1-1 tie here at Spaulding Field. Game got underway a little bit earlier than usual, but it may take a while if the bats keep smoking for both people. But Brian Callahan, as we said, came on and shut down the Exeter bats in that first inning.
First inning and the second inning, Pete, Willie Lees, the second baseman, is playing cat and mouse with every time there's a runner on second.
Bruce looking back, now coming to the plate, fouled off again, this time to the right of the plate. Bruce ahead of the count, 0-2. Kevin Ford, the left fielder, the on-deck hitter for Spaulding. And he'll be followed by right fielder Alan Wickstrom.
There it goes again. Donnelly hit one between first and second. He's going to hit a solid base hit.
And fouled off down the right field line. So the count remains at 0-2. Well, it's 1-1. Let's hope it doesn't remain that way for 14 more innings. That ring a bell? You imagine that, though. Two teams go through 15 innings scoring 1 run apiece in Major League Baseball.
Oh, that's last night's game, Red Sox, White Sox.
It's 1-1 here at Spaulding Field. Class L baseball contest. And a careful look by Donnelly, and he took it for a ball. Boy, he looked that one in all the way, didn't he?
That's a tough pitch to take with 2 strikes on you. He's got to be ready.
Sometimes I don't know how those batters do it, dare to do it when you're behind on the count like that.
All he wants to do is hit that ball to the right of the infield, so that runner can get over the third base.
Come inside, and a nice stop by the catcher, as it could have gotten past him. That's Travers Evans. Right, with a lead that Callahan has off second base, obviously he'd go to third easily and would probably score on anything that goes through the right side of the infield.
Any ground ball, he'll end up on third base, to the right side of the infield.
Lee's the second baseman, as you said, playing the cat and mouse, but he never got over to the bag. Runner on second has to listen to both coaches, or the third base. What normally happens on that?
Well, first of all, he's got to have his own baseball sense. He himself should know how much of a lead he should take, and then keep his ears open. Anticipate the play before it happens.
Here comes Bruce's delivery. It's up high for 3 balls and 2 strike count now on Donnelly, who got behind early.
Brian's got to be thinking that any ball hit to the left side, he's got to stop and watch, see where that ball is. Anything to the right, he goes.
Without question, anything to the right. So Guy Donnelly, the senior first baseman who got behind in the count 0-2, is now ahead 3-2. And Bruce has to come in with one. Here's the pitch, and he does. Sort of tied him up off the fist.
Oh, you got a
throw
late
to
start.
first. He got a late start. Here's the throw over to third, but he got in there as Callahan had to wait as Bruce looked him back after the slow grounder off the bat of Donnelly. Threw Donnelly out, and then he did get into third, though.
Good heads-up play.
So 1 out.
Here's that topper right down to the left side of the infield. Bruce pitch, looks over the man at second base, throws the first. In the meantime, Callahan goes into third base sliding.
It was an easy throw, actually, to first. I mean, the runner Donnelly was out by 12 feet or so. Fly ball going down the left field line into foul territory and way out of play. Chased there by Chris Stamus, the left fielder.
He didn't want to get that bat dirty. He carried that to first base all the way to
Kevin
first
Ford.
base.
We'll have to talk to him about that. Kevin Ford, the junior left fielder, likes a clean bat, says Jim Fabiano. Now Kevin trying to get a teammate in from third base as we're in the bottom of the second inning, up high. 1-1 the count. Alan Wickstrom, the right fielder, on deck. Spaulding with 3 hits in this game and 1 run. Both teams scored in the first inning. Here's the delivery, and Spaulding found the third base coaching box, this time booted by head coach Hugo Bolden.
Yeah. Looking at counting his fingers.
He made a good catch before on one, but it wasn't hit as hard as this one was. Who was it? There was somebody in the major leagues that used to for the Red Sox, coaching third. I think he sometimes would make catches and he'd backhand them to the mound. Or some people have been known to do that.
Yeah, like Paderewski, I believe.
Pele, yes, I know who you're talking about. Right. Eddie was his first name. Swing and a miss.
Yeah, see what... Oh, boy.
Eddie Popowski was the name, Jim. Now, what were we looking at there?
Travis thought it was 3 outs, and
Yes,
he just
did.
rolled the ball to the pitcher. Now, what Hugo wanted Kevin Ford to do is just put that ball out in the outfield so he can get that run in.
That's
But
right.
he was fooled by that pitch. Struck out by Matt Bruce.
Travis Evans, you're right, did think it was 2 or 3 outs, and that could have been disaster. That's happened before. Or have you ever seen it in the game you played in back in the thing?
Absolutely.
People just forget how many outs there are, and the run can, if you've got 3 runners on, everybody can score while the
Not
ball
only
rolls.
that, you take an alert ball player that's on those bases, just give him any little break like that, and he's going to take off.
And the pitch inside to Wickstrom. 2-0 the count.
Used to have plays where the runner on first base would take off for a steal, and it would be a little pass ball, and the second baseman would say to him it's a foul ball, and without the runner, without checking with the umpires, just go back to first base. That's happened many a time.
The delivery hit out into right center field. It should be grabbed out there, and it is by the right fielder McDougal. And the Raiders failed to score after getting a runner on third with 1 out here in the bottom of the second. So after 2 complete innings of play here at Spaulding Field in Rochester, Exeter 1, Spaulding 1.
Not only does Rochester Stove have the greatest selection of wood stoves in Stratford County, but they also have a great selection of grills for your summer cookouts. Portable grills for burgers at the beach and large grills for the family backyard cookouts. Rochester Stove has a variety of cooking utensils and briquettes to add a spark to your life. Add some sizzle to your summertime fun at Rochester Stove, 4 Gonick Road in Rochester.
We go to the top of the third inning here at Spaulding Field in Rochester. I'm Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano and our technical and camera crew here this afternoon as the Spaulding Red Raiders and the Exeter Blue Hawks are locked in a 1-1 tie. Top of the order for the Blue Hawks, second baseman Willie Lees leading it off. He walked in the first inning to lead the game off and eventually scored on a sacrifice fly to right center by the pitcher Mac Bruce.
You want to keep a fella like number 14, Lees, off the base paths.
1-1 count now to Lees. Derek DeRoches, the sophomore shortstop, the on-deck hitter. He'll be followed by the pitcher, Bruce. Here comes Callahan's delivery. There's the bunt. Callahan off quickly for it. He'll play it to first.
Nice.
Plenty of time. Nice defensive play there by Brian Callahan.
Played that beautifully. Just took his time coming off the mound, picked it up, and fired over to first base.
Lee's trying to pull the surprise, but the bunt was too close to the mound. He probably wanted it a little bit more towards the line, where he could have used his speed and his step that he has towards first. How valuable is that for a left-handed batter, that step or so towards first, Jim? Well, we'll talk about that in a minute. Ripped by DeRoches. That's another hit by the sophomore to right center field. He's got an easy double at second. Well, he really rifled that ball right up the gap.
He leaned into that one, and there's no doubt about it. Ball was well hit.
He's 2 for 2 now with a single and a double, and in the same area to right center field. As I was saying, Jim, how important is that, being a left-handed batter, that step towards first?
Oh, very much so. I think in a season with the big leaguers, they can count on at least 20, 25 hits.
Just because of the fact that you're,
speed.
Maybe because of, they might not be the fastest in the world, but because of that extra step, it just takes that little bit less to get there. When you see it right now, as you look at that box, as it's 2-0, the count to Bruce, who had the sacrifice fly in the first inning, you can just see the difference it makes getting out of that box. And a little drive again, right center field. So an opposite field this time for Bruce. We 2-1 Exeter, as Bruce is going to go in with a double. And Derek DeRoches comes in for the go-ahead run for the Blue Hawks here in the top of the third inning.
As I mentioned early in the game, Matt Bruce was batting .500 before that hit. So he's a legitimate good batter.
4 hits. Those are the first 2 hits in this inning, the first 2 hits of the game off of Callahan. And it's 4 hits now for the Exeter Blue Hawks, and DeRoches and Bruce have combined for 3 of them. Pitch to Brett Elmore, the center fielder, who doubled in the first inning, is a strike called. So Bruce is driven in both runs. Fly ball to left field, going back forward, and that ball is gone. A home run for Brett Elmore, the senior center fielder, and it's now 4-1 for the Exeter Blue Hawks here in the top of the third inning. So things aren't working out right here as Callahan's getting hit rather solidly, Jim.
Not a little. That kid is really put together. He's low but solid. Here's that play again. He just waited for that pitch to come in, took a real good big league swing, and that ball just went in an orbit right over the left field fence for a 4-bagger.
Pretty good shot by Brett Elmore, the senior center fielder. A 2-run homer, and the visitors are up by 3, 4-1.
That's 3 solid hits in a row, too. Callahan's got to settle down.
After the bunt attempt by Willie Lees was fielded by Callahan, Jay McDougal, the right fielder, he popped to second in the first inning. He was the first batter that Callahan faced in that inning to get out in relief of Jim Collins after Elmore had doubled and get out of it after they'd scored a run. So he had retired 6 batters in a row before these hits came along. This only 6 he had faced. Pitches up high.
He's throwing an awful lot of curveballs.
Delivery down low. Chris Stammis, the left fielder, the on-deck hitter. So the Raiders, when they come in, will have to get their bats going against Matt Bruce. Remember, Exeter won 5-4. First time around, the unearned runs played a big part in it. They have not this afternoon. Pitch outside for a ball. And the 4th batter in a row reaches base off Callahan. Bring Chris Stammis. S-T-A-M-A-S is the way it's spelled. He struck out swinging as Callahan got out of that first inning by retiring Bruce on that strikeout. So the hits have certainly come more frequently here than the last game the Raiders had. A ground ball, a couple hops to Keefe. He goes to second for 1, over to first, and they say safe. Wait a minute. Yes, they say safe. As Tom Gilpatrick, the base umpire, says they did.
He's questioning it now. He's questioning it. I think he anticipated a wild throw. The umpire did, and he called him safe automatically.
Well, I don't know. Of course, Greg Caggiolari was watching.
Well, he called him. So Tom Gilpatrick called him safe.
He did call him out.
Then
so it is a double play. He appealed it.
Now here comes John. He wants to know what's going on there.
John Walker comes out, and it can be done. It can be done if you didn't get that good a look at it.
I think Kilpatrick just anticipated a wild throw, and he just put his hands out safe.
So the double play ends the inning, but Exeter comes up with 3 runs in the inning and leads it after 2.5 by a score of 4-1 over Spaulding.
The place for GE appliances and video products is Nard's TV and Appliance Store, 74 High Street in Somersworth. Refrigerators designed for today's kitchen in different styles and colors. And look at all the economically priced GE washing machines and dryers. Nard's is well known for TVs, all sizes, from the most economical to the large screen. Plus, there are many VCRs to choose from, as well as camera equipment. Nard's has a large selection of ranges, GE built and GE dependable. Don't forget that Nard's services what they sell, and they carry a full line of accessories. Stop by and see what's available at Nard's TV and Appliance Store.
bottom of the third inning here at Spaulding Field. And the Red Raiders have 3 runs to make up. Jim Fabiano was Exeter hit him with a 3 spot in the top of the third inning, including that 2-run homer by Brett Elmore. Sean Viney, the second baseman and the leadoff hitter in the lineup for the Red Raiders, steps in against Matt Bruce and takes inside for a ball.
Well, what the Red Raiders have to do now is just put men on base and let something happen.
They've got 3 hits in the game.
Early in the game yet.
They have 3 hits. High for ball 2. Varney, third baseman John Pantelides, and Jamie Keefe, the shortstop, will face Bruce in this inning. Hopefully more, as Wayne Cropper would be the 4th hitter. So you've got your top of your lineup up. And a little roller out to left and backhanded by Bruce. He's going to go over to first, and wait a minute. Wait, he dropped the ball. He had him out.
Still call him out now.
He had him called out, and either he tagged him or something or other, and out.
He won't appeal that one.
That won't be appealed. I'd like to get another look at that one, but for what purpose, I don't know. That was a tough play at first. It's going to go 1-3. The throw pulled him off the bag, Jim, it looked like.
And he dropped the ball. He didn't have possession of the ball.
Well, that evidently home plate correction. Base umpire Tom Gilpatrick felt he did have possession, or he wouldn't have called him out.
Well, judgment
call, so that's... All right, and a base hit down the left field line.
They say the tail end of that replay there. Boy, that's an important out right there after that single.
That certainly was, because he would have started a big inning on that type of situation. But it probably should have been a routine play in the first place. With Bruce going off, if he'd straightened up, you would have thought he would have had it.
Well, that would have been a man on first and second, nobody out.
Well, here's the shortstop, Jamie Keefe. Jamie singled, reached on an infield single in the first inning. It was an infield hit and stole second.
Boy, this is the second time now that ball came off Jamie's foot. Last time up at bat, he did the same thing.
But I noticed that head coach Hugo Bolin in the third base coaching box began a lot of exercise today.
He's hustling out there.
Really working hard over there. Not just coaching, he's fielding ground balls. Been a lot of them hit down that way. Here's Bruce's delivery up high. 1-1. A play like that you can't let get you down, can you, Jim? Like
part of
first base, use part of baseball. You just got to fight through it and come right back into it.
That's all you got to do, Pete.
You got plenty of time left.
Along with the next play. Notice Dan Clemens, boy, he's playing way up on the grass, third base.
The delivery outside. So Jamie Keefe is ahead of the count. What you need is a little dinger that clears the fence by a Red Raider in this inning with a man on base, and you're right back in the game.
That could happen. They've got to make something happen.
Both teams looking for a victory in this one, obviously, which is obvious, but Exeter has lost its last 4, and Spaulding, after 2 wins in a row, lost that tough 1-0 win to Dover. And the dugout is alive.
Yeah, they were all up in front of the dugout. You know, you don't have to get them all at once. One at a time would be sufficient enough, too, if you hold that other team down.
You got 4 times at bat, counting this one in this game. Well, actually, you got 5 times left at bat, counting this time. So you've still got plenty of time, as you say. Keefe ahead on the count, 3-1. And here's Bruce's pitch, and he goes to the right side into right field for a base hit. There'll be runners on first and second, and 1 down for Spaulding here in the third inning. They trail it 4-1.
It was a nice hit. It was almost like a hit and run. I thought that ball was close of hitting John there on first base. Well, as I said, Pete, get men on base, and in due time they'll cross that home plate.
Yes, sir. Here's Wayne Cropper, the cleanup hitter, who was really robbed of a hit on that nice catch by Elmore. back in the first inning that turned into a sacrifice fly.
Well, I'll tell you, Wayne Cropper's getting a lot of respect from the left fielder there, Chris Stamus. He's playing way out there.
And a line drive into left center field by Cropper. 1 run will score for Spaulding. Let's see if they can get 2 home. And here comes, no, he's going to hold Keefe up at third base as Cropper pulls into second with a double. A wise decision by head coach Hugo Bolin, as they probably could have had a good relay throw to the plate.
You're right about that decision on Hugo holding him up, because you're losing by 2. Only 1 out. Now you got a man on second and third. Still 1 out. Well, Cropper really leans into that and gets it in the gap. Goes all the way to the fence. Then you have Jamie going all the way from first and scoring on the play. Well, that's Jamie on third base.
Okay, Jamie's on third, Wayne Cropper on second, and it's 4-2 as the Raiders cut the deficit that they had at the start of this inning when it was 4-1. And here's Andy Donatello, the center fielder.
Good hitter up there.
Struck out swinging in the first inning. I'm sure he wants to atone for that against Matt Bruce.
Has some good discipline up there and poked that in for a base hit.
Got 3 hits in this inning. The Red Raiders have 6 hits. That's 3 times as many as they had against Dover. So the bats are smoking.
On both teams.
They certainly are. Exeter has 5 hits. So there's 11 hits in this ball game. And it's 4-2. Exeter here in the bottom of the third inning at Spaulding Field. Class L baseball contest. Both teams looking for their 3rd win of the campaign.
Well, that infield is up very close.
Here comes the delivery, and it's bounded, fouled off. And Hugo Bolin again. We're showing all sorts of moves out there today. But I thought on that drive, on that double, Jim, that you might be able to get 2 runs in, but then when the relay came it close, Hugo was watching it all the way.
Well, not only that, you look what the score is too. You need that would have been a big out if he had got him at the plate.
Right. You don't want to kill a rally at this point if there's such a thing. A strike called.
Boy, you got Don Clemens playing very close, and Derek DeRoche is there at shortstop. They're all in, and also Willie Lee's.
Little poke
right
over the
edge
infield.
Of the grass.
Little poke over the infield would help. And a ground ball to shortstop. He's going to go to the plate, and they got him.
Oh, is that
they got him. Runner going down to third. They're going to have a double. No, they don't have a double play as the runners move up. Tom Gilpatrick came over. It looked like they might have him down there at third, but they were able, as Cropper was able to get over to third. And going down to second while all that was going on was Donatello on the fielder's choice.
Well, that was a big break by the Raiders on that play, because they had the catcher there dead there at third base, Wayne Cropper. For some reason, he hesitated when the play was being made at the plate. Then he left second base, went over to third.
I want to take another look at this.
Yeah, here you see it now. See a couple of hoppers going right down to the shortstop. Throws home. It wasn't even close. Now, Cropper decides to go to third base, and that was close. That was almost like a delayed steal.
Close at third, and I think Cropper just get in on the far side of the bag.
Well, he still gets some life left into him.
Here's Brian Callahan. Swings and misses. Brian led off the second inning with a double to left center field, but was left stranded. So he could help himself right here, Jim. As the Red Raiders look to close this gap, they're trailing at 4-2. We're still only early in this game in the third inning. Pitch and grounded. A shot. DeRoche is coming up with the ball. Throw to first, and that's the end of the inning. The Red Raiders do get 1 runner home, but leave 2. And after 3 completed, Exeter 4, Spaulding 2.
That's the sound of a popular restaurant. Popular because of the food. When you go out to eat, you want food that's fresh and delicious. And at Flanagan's restaurant at the Tri-City Plaza, you get it. And plenty of it. Plus, Flanagan's gives super service with the most super waitresses. Always friendly and always courteous. For lunch or dinner, it's the best buy for your money. Open 7 days a week. It's everyone's choice for a casual treat. Flanagan's Restaurant, Tri-City Plaza in Somersworth.
Going to the top of the fourth inning here at Spaulding Field in Rochester. Travers Evans, the catcher. Doug Rohr, the first baseman, and Dan Clemens, the third baseman, will be the first three batters who will face Brian Callahan. He was saying, Jim, out of a tough situation with the Raiders that last inning, left a couple runners stranded, only got one run out of a three-hit situation, which could have been a big inning. Of course, a tough play at first, opening the inning, but they did have their opportunities later.
Yeah, that was a tough call. That would have made a big difference. But again, you can't decide the game on one play because of an umpire.
And they did get three hits following that.
So all the Red Raiders needed is the ball to get out of the infield. They would have been in perfect position.
They could have got another run or two, but they're down 4-2 at the top of the fourth. Callahan's pitch comes inside to Evans.
Well, it's a new inning now. Forget about it. Come back and score some runs.
Evans grounded to third. His first time up in the second inning. Takes a strike call. Nice pitch on the outside corner. Greg Caggiulari, the home plate umpire today. The second time we've had him on TV this year. We had him and the home plate umpire in the Somersworth-Laconia game. Oh, goes back foul.
Yeah, Caggiulari, he's one of those firm umpires I love to see. He doesn't hesitate. You know, with an umpire like that, even though he's wrong, if he's firm enough, he's right. I like that.
I asked him if he happened to check the thing out. He said, yeah, didn't miss a call. He laughed all the way when he said it.
Oh.
Didn't miss many, if I remember right, if any at all. And a base hit.
He's hurt.
A base hit, and the right fielder, Wickstrom, came in. And what did it look like happened out there, Jim?
Well, you know, miscommunication out there. Someone's got a blast out there. You take it, I take it. But that's one of those Texas Leaguer, right in between the second baseman and the right fielder. Here it is now with his back towards the infield. Right fielder coming in. They both collide. Looks like he hit him in the shoulder or the head. But he's okay. He's back in a position.
Doug Rohr.
Went for a single.
First baseman is the hitter. He grounded to third in the second inning. Part of that streak of 6 straight batters in a row that Callahan retired. Now down to third again. Panelides to second. 1 on to first and 2.
Wow. Nice stretch.
Boy, they pulled that off there around the horn. The toughest way you go to 5-4-3. And we got to get that thing set. Taken care of. A 5-4-3 situation.
That was a nice stretch by Guy Donnelly there at first base.
And Dan Clemens, the third baseman, up. I'm going to try to take another look at that.
Here's a... Well, in that replay, there's a two-hopper right to the third baseman there. He just throws over to second baseman Viney. Viney throws a gun over to Guy Donnelly with a beautiful stretch for a DP.
And the ground ball this time gets through the third baseman, Panelides. Want to call that a base hit or an error? What do we go with?
Give him a hit on that.
Give him a base hit, hard ground ball. So another hit by the Exeter Bluehawks. 7 hits for them in the game. Willie Lees, the second baseman, coming to the plate. Lees walked and scored in the first and grounded, well, actually went out trying to bunt. Pitcher to first in the third inning. There goes the runner, there goes the throw in the dirt. At the tag is out. They say he's out, so they caught him stealing.
A one hopper right to the second baseman. He puts the tag on and gets him.
Well, actually, it went to Keefe. I think it went to Jamie Keefe on the one hopper from Crawford to Keefe, and that's the end of the inning. Exeter does not score after 3.5. Halfway through the game, Exeter 4, Spaulding 2. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning here at Spaulding Field as the Red Raiders trailing at 4-2 to the Exeter Blue Hawks. They lead it off with Guy Donnelly back through the middle, but right to the second baseman Lees, over to first, and a little bit of a difficulty fielding it. Grabbing the throw at first base was the first baseman Rohr, but nevertheless it's an out. And there's one down here in the 4th.
Hey, you got some good wood on that ball. Just went direct right to the second baseman. 2 hops, throws over to first.
Oh, the score here is 4-2, as we can hear you loud and clearly, gentlemen. That's a good way to signal anything. Somebody was wondering what the score was at our directors. 4-2 is the score. And the pitch inside, we're in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Red Raiders trying to stay close in this game and trying to cut it to 1 run here against Matt Bruce.
What Spaulding Red Raiders have to do now, again, put those runners on first base. Get them on the base pad so they can score.
Nice pitch on the outside corner. 2 balls and a strike to Kevin Ford, the left fielder. Kevin struck out swinging back in the 2nd inning. Spaulding with 6 hits in the game and 2 runs. 4 runs on 7 hits for Exeter. Count even now as the pitch was high. It's 2-2.
Bruce wanted that pitch. Just taking his time there on the mound.
On deck hitter Alan Wickstrom, the right fielder, up high, and that was a full count pitch, and it's ball 4.
That's what you want to do. Put runners on the base paths.
You want to try to steal at this point in the ballgame even though you're behind, Jim?
Well, it all depends on Kevin Ford. Has he got good wheels or not? If he's got good wheels, I would wait a couple of pitches, send him down. Because we have already seen what Travis has there.
Yeah, Travis Evans, right.
He's not too good of an arm.
Although sometimes that can fool you if it's done at the right time. Looked like the pitch was outside. It was outside for a ball. I was going to say it looked like a pitch out, but I don't think it was. Just went outside by Bruce. So Matt Bruce has given up 6 hits in the ball game.
Got a nice lead off first base.
Struck out 3 has Bruce, and time called as the catcher Evans going out to check with his junior pitcher. And here comes the first baseman Rohr in, as John Walker was going to head out of the dugout, but decided to let the catcher talk to his pitcher.
Well, I guess the way the wheels are turning now, I would think he'd get a signal to take one. With the count 2 balls, no strikes, I certainly wouldn't expect him to steal. Kevin Ford to go to second base on a steal.
Here comes the delivery up high, ball 3.
He's got the signal to take, which is a good play. You have to put men on the bases to score.
Bruce has only walked 1, and that, ironically enough, was Kevin Ford. But he has given up 6 hits. Pitch hits the outside corner for a strike. 3-1.
Yeah, with the score 4-2. 1 out, man on first. See if he's going to take.
Here's the delivery. No, he does not. He goes for it and pops it up. Out back, Willie Lees on the edge of the outfield grass makes the catch. Out number 2.
I think that he had the signal to take because I see Hugo over there a little disappointed that he swung at that pitch.
Yes, he is disappointed. There's no doubt about that. Sean Viney, the second baseman, steps to the plate. Sean is 0 for 2, struck out swinging in the first, grounded back to the mound in the third. I believe you're right, Jim, that he was not supposed to go for that pitch.
No, not when you're losing by 2 runs.
You've got to get on base.
1 out. Now you may see Kevin Ford go down.
Pitch is a ball. Bruce being behind the count in this inning, but it hasn't hurt him as of yet. There's one thing the Raiders have coming with Viney up now. They've got the heart of their order coming up over the next couple of innings, and it's fouled off for a strike way in back of us, and bounds around somewhere, I think out of beyond the outer fence.
Yeah, this is what drives coaches right up a wall. Is they know that errors is part of baseball, but when they make those mental errors, they shake like a leaf on a windy day.
And it's popped up, hit flied out into right field. Now Lee should have a beat on it and does, as it went into shallow right field, and that's it. As the second batter gets on, Ford with a walk, but a couple of pop-ups to Lee's end it. So after 4 complete, Exeter still leads Spaulding 4-2.
For expert work in building and remodeling, it's Michael O'Keefe serving the greater Rochester area. Additions, garages, decks, replacement windows, roofing and siding. Michael O'Keefe and crew are fully insured to provide service that's safe and sure. No job is too big or small. New construction or remodeling, home repair or painting. Call night or day, it's Michael O'Keefe. He wants your business and will give you the best work in the Seacoast. Call him at 332-3470.
We're here in the 5th inning. I don't know what to say about that one, Jim, that you just heard.
I didn't hear it.
Somebody messed the count up on me. But anyway, we're here in the top of the 5th inning with Exeter still leading Spaulding 4-2. And Willie Lees, the leadoff hitter for the Exeter Bluehawks, the second baseman. So the top of the order up for the Bluehawks: Willie Lees, Derek DeRoche is the shortstop, and the pitcher Matt Bruce. Exeter maintaining a 4-2 lead over the Red Raiders. Swing and a miss. Exeter 4 runs on 7 hits. As Callahan up high for a ball, 1-1.
He throws that ball with a thud coming into home plate.
Callahan's worked all but 1 out of this inning, and a drive to right center, as Exeter seems to like that spot off Bryant.
They seem to have a magnet out there. That's about the, what, third or fourth
Third or fourth
right
time,
in that same
right.
position.
Leadoff single by Lees. Reaches base for the second time in the game. He walked in the first.
They can make a change.
Now we will have a change, and Guy Donnelly, I believe, is going to come in to pitch. And Callahan goes to first. So straight pitcher catcher change. So Callahan winds up giving up 3 runs in the game. He gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. As he wound up pitching 3 2/3 innings. And he's responsible for the runner at first, Willie Lees. So actually he gave up 3 runs on 6 hits as of right now.
Well, I'll tell you, that Exeter Bluehawks came here with their hitting shoes on. They got some solid base hits.
Guy Donnelly, a left-handed senior, on the mound right now for the Red Raiders. Derek DeRoche, the shortstop, will be the first batter he'll face. So the third pitcher of the afternoon, Jimmy Collins, only threw to 4 batters. And 3 of them reached. He gave up a walk and a couple of hits and a sacrifice fly. So actually, Jimmy Collins does not stand to get the decision. He's out of the decision. He will have a no decision today.
No.
Right now, Brian Callahan would stand as that.
You may see a bunt here. Guess not.
Pitch inside from Donnelly to DeRoche's. It was a sophomore, as we said. DeRoche's singled to right center in the first inning. Doubled to right center in the third inning and lines it to center this time. Boy, he's been hitting the ball right in that area.
Oh, he certainly does.
Really ripping it. That's 1 out, and here's Matt Bruce, the pitcher. Bruce, a sacrifice fly to center in the first inning, and he got an RBI double to right center field in the third. So he's driven in 2 of his team's 4 runs.
Now this Derek DeRoche is there. He not only looked good at the field, but he certainly looks excellent there at the bat.
Swings and misses, does Matt Bruce. Red Raiders don't want to let Exeter get too many more runs, Jim, at this point, because they've got 3 more times at bat now. Pitch, and going to right field again. They love that right field area. It's carrying, but Wickstrom goes back on it nicely and makes the catch for out number 2 in right center.
Yeah, you thought that was a can of corn when it first left the home plate, but that ball kept carrying right towards that fence.
Sophomore Alan Wickstrom, though, stayed right with it. Here's Brett Elmore, the home run man, as he hit the home run to left field, the 2-run homer in the third inning, which is the difference in this ball game right now. That's why Exeter's ahead 4-2. Exeter got 3 runs in that inning to break a 1-1 tie. And Elmore to third, and that gets by Pantelides. Better give him an error on that one.
Yeah, it's an error.
First error of the game from either side.
Hard hit ball, but right at him.
So it's an error on Pantelides. And there's 2 on and 2 out here for Exeter as Jay McDougall, the right fielder, steps to the plate. McDougall popped a second in the first and walked in the third, but it was erased in a double play. 5th inning here at Spaulding Field. Exeter 4, Spaulding 2. I'm Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano, bringing this game on New England Cablevision. Want to also mention and recognize our people, Bill Young and Steve Lewis, doing the directing. And up above, John Rodenhouse on the camera behind home plate, and first base, Paul Mannion, and Greg Brooks working the third base camera here this afternoon. Here comes Donnelly's delivery, this time to the right side. Trouble. They love that right side still. Trouble, a flip from Callahan to Donnelly, and nice, they get him.
Play.
If they had not, another run would have scored, but a nice play all around. First baseman to the pitcher, and that ends the inning as Exeter does not score. So after 4.5, Exeter still leads Spaulding 4-2.
Come into the newly renovated Kearney Drug Company in downtown Rochester. First in the area with computerized prescription service for fast and reliable dispensing of medication. First in the area with sick room supplies, convalescent aids, and medical oxygen. First in terms of friendly and efficient service. And Kearney Drug has one of the largest selections of greeting cards, gifts for all occasions, and the latest in cosmetics. the pharmacy with more of what you need. Kearney Drug Company, located in downtown Rochester. Call 332-2132.
There it is, Channel 3, local sports, and that's what we're bringing here on New England Cablevision. That's the one, Jim.
Yeah, that's the home of all the champions on whether it's football, basketball, or baseball. And we've got all the sponsors to thank for bringing this game to you.
It wouldn't be possible without them. It's the bottom of the 5th inning as John Panelides, the third baseman, leads it off for the Red Raiders and fouls it off by the football press box as it bounds over on the track there. There is a track meet going on here. That must have caused a little commotion over there.
Made him run a little faster.
That's right. A record was set at Spaulding Field. We ought to talk about that track as a fly ball to center going back on it, and he never could get it. It's off the fence. He didn't know how far that was going. Elmore, and it got over his head for a double. He thought he had it, but I think that wind picked it up. That wind's picked up a little bit, Jim.
Well, that's the second one we've seen like that. Last inning we seen the same ball, same type of ball hit the right field, carrying. Here it is now. Just Canacon going from home plate right to center field. Looked like the center fielder was under it, but the ball kept carrying. And it goes right to the fence for a 2-base hit.
Indeed it did. He thought he had it, and the way it looked like, but he was doing some heavy circling there. And finally a double, a leadoff double by Panelides, bringing up the third hitter in the lineup, Jamie Keefe, the shortstop. The Raiders have another runner on.
This is what the Raiders have to do now when they have a man on second and third. Put a ball up in orbit like that, then you get some runs scored.
Raiders have left 5 runners stranded through the first 4 times at bat.
I get a feeling something's going to happen, Pete, in favor of Spaulding Red Raiders.
Well, Keefe is out of the bat as well. We wanted to mention that Spaulding track coach John Doria claims, and I think rightfully so, that the Spaulding track, rubberized track, is the best high school facility in New Hampshire. And I think he's right.
Yes, I'll go along with that. Also the baseball field.
That certainly
One
would
of the
rank.
best.
Certainly would rank up there. Here's the pitch, 1-1. I think if you're going to get to Matt Bruce, you're going to get to him right now. As the Raiders have 7 hits off him. It isn't that they haven't got the bat on the ball. They just haven't been able to put it together. Pitch down in the dirt. John Walker, the head coach of Exeter, must be concerned right now that Bruce might be retiring, Jim.
Very much so. And the Spaulding Red Raiders put some heavy wood or heavy metal, whichever way you want to call it, from the first inning on. They were getting to
Matt Bruce.
The
Pitcher. Here comes his delivery, and it's a ball. It's a tough pitch to take for Keefe. He wanted to go for it and held back. 3-1. Over the last couple of innings, Bruce has been getting behind the
for
bat.
a while. Now, you would think.
All right, fly ball going to right field, and
Tag up.
he'll make the catch, says the tag, and he's not going to be able to go. A nice throw over there
Beautiful throw.
by the right fielder,
Yes,
Jay
hey.
McDougal.
Boy, he showed a gun there. I thought he would go in the third base standing up with a gun like that. That would have been close at third base.
We do want to mention also, and I believe the date is next Friday. We can check on that. The Southeastern New Hampshire meet, SENH meet for girls, here next Friday night, May 5th. Or also at that same time, there's going to be a ball game between Spaulding and Londonderry. So a lot of activity taking place here at Spaulding Field on the night of May 5th.
There's another situation where you had a man on second base and only one out and the count 3-1. You would think Jamie would take another pitch on that.
And the strike called.
And my thinking is that as long as you have base runners on the base paths, you can score.
Raiders looking for a base hit right here to score the runner at second, John Panelides. They've got one out here in the bottom of the 5th. They're trailing Exeter 4-2. Here's the delivery outside. I think the way Bruce would be throwing, Jim, is that he's going to serve one up sooner or later they can get out of here, because he's been behind on the count. He's going to have to come in with a couple of good pitches.
Yeah, and that way the ball's been carrying it, you may be right. You may see a couple of home runs.
Here's the delivery by Bruce, and a line drive, and he's going to double him up. Oh, a hard-hit ball ends the inning as Cropper lined it right to the second baseman, Lees. And with Panalides too far off the base, he came over and was able to double him up, and a disappointing end to an inning that started out so promising.
That ball was well tagged.
Well, that's it after 5 innings complete. It's Exeter 4, Spaulding 2.
Bowlaway Lanes in Rochester, with leagues for men, women, couples, and children. Computerized league standings are available, as well as a nursery for morning leagues. Bowlaway Lanes features buddy bumpers for children to make their bowling more fun and instructive. Bring your child in and see how much they will enjoy themselves and are rewarded for their efforts. For the best in relaxing exercise, as well as friendly competition, stop by Bowlaway Lanes, 122 South Main Street in Rochester. It's fun for the whole family.
Here we are in the top of the 6th inning now, and Exeter still leading it 4-2 over the Spaulding Red Raiders. Pete Barker along with Jim Fabiano here at Spaulding Field in Rochester. Chris Stammis, the left fielder, steps in to lead it off. Against Guy Donnelly, grounded a shot. There's Keefe's play to first, and he's got him for out number 1.
That's what you have to do. Get that first batter. Then you can breathe a little easier.
Last inning, another frustrating one for the Red Raiders offense, Jim.
I like the way Jamie fielded that ball then. Just got right in front of him, got set, and gunned it over to first base.
Exeter in this game has 8 hits. The Red Raiders have 7. But that last inning, they hit, what can you say? They hit the ball well, but they line into a double play. It's going to be frustrating. But you have to keep it close because you still got 6 innings, 2 innings to bat. And so you got 6 outs on that. And the Blue Hawks hoping to add an insurance run. There's a bunt fouled on the first base line. That's Travers Evans, the catcher. Tried to get on Evans. 1 for 2 in the game. Grounded to third in the second. And he singled to right center in the 4th inning.
You know, very quietly, Guy Donnelly's doing a nice job out there.
Well, he came on in relief in the 5th inning after the leadoff hitter Lees singled and retired the side. An error did allow another Exeter runner to get on, but he got out of it. And a ball. Ooh, that just missed the corner. 2-2. Much to the dismay of a fan of the Spaulding Red Raiders. Outside. That was a close pitch, though. That was, I'll tell you, if I'm a home plate umpire, I've got to really look close at those ones in the corner, Jim. I don't envy Greg Caduleri's job. Or any umpire's
Can't catch
job.
them all.
No. But generally, I think really what we've seen some good umpiring.
He seems to be outside.
This time he went, after that pitch that nearly caught the corner that was just outside, he was way outside in the next 2. And a walk to Travers Evans. Doug Rohr, the first baseman, is the hitter.
You get a lot of signals there by John Walker.
Rohr 0 for 2 in the game, takes a strike called. John Walker has been coaching third. He does that for his club. Swing and a miss by Rohr.
He had some smoke on that one.
Indeed he did. Donnelly, the left-hander, coming to the plate.
Oh.
Rounded foul pass first. A sharp grounder that was in foul territory.
See that 2-strike on the batter going back in the old days of Dizzy Dean. In his vocabulary, he'd say, I never waste a pitch. If I get 2 strikes on that batter, I'm going to blow him out. No wasted pitches.
Fouled off to the right side. are here in the top of the 6th inning. It's Exeter 4 and Spaulding 2.
And a timeout call by catcher Wayne Crupper.
Next game we'll do for the Red Raiders here on New England Cablevision Channel 3 will be the Pinkerton game. It will be under the lights on May the 5th. Dover comes here on May the 10th under the lights. That ought to be a pretty good rematch.
Should be a doozer.
As you saw the Green Wave getting off to a good start this season.
You may see something happening now at that runner on first.
Pitch fouled back. The only Seacoast team that hasn't got a win this year so far as we speak has been the Winnicott Warriors. They started off 0-6, so that's pretty tough for Mike Guile and his club down there. He thought they had the pitching, and they've been hit hard in a lot of games. Pitch way outside by Donnelly.
The way I understand it, you're not going to have any one team dominate this league. This is up for grabs for any high school to take this title.
I would think that teams like Manchester Central and are also going to be heard from. Central being a strong tournament team last year. Foul down the first baseline as Callahan grabbed it, hoping to get the out as he stepped on the bag, but it was called foul by base umpire Tom Gilpatrick.
That's what I like about this home plate umpire. Right there, the firmness, the way he called it right off the bat. No hesitation.
Count is 2-2. Here's the pitch. Back through the middle. Keefe grabs it. He's going to step on second and throw to first for the double play.
Beautiful.
Took his time and got the twin killing, and after 5.5 innings, it's still Exeter 4, Spaulding 2.
Total Tone and Trim, 13 Gonick Road, Route 125, provides the exercise alternative with toning tables, the easiest and most beneficial way to stretch, tone, and strengthen your muscles, as well as relieve tension. Stay healthy and fit without undergoing a strenuous exercise program. Also included at Total Tone and Trim is aerobic equipment for a complete workout. And your individual progress is measured with our computerized body composition analysis. The original European body wraps are available using a formulated sea clay solution which tones and tightens skin, guaranteeing inches lost. And then there is the AccuMassage table, therapeutic for easing tension and stress and improving circulation. It's all for you for health and fitness at Total Tone and Trim, 13 Gonick Road, Route 125. Call them at 332-8718.
Alrighty, we ready to go? Here we're going to the bottom of the 6th inning. Andy Donatello, Brian Callahan, and Guy Donnelly. The first 3 batters against Matt Bruce. His time is growing short for the Spaulding Red Raiders as they're trailing at 4-2. We do want to mention another fine show, a well-produced show that you can see here on Channel 3, New England Cablevision, is This Week in Seacoast Sports. Every week on Wednesday and Thursday at 7 o'clock. I know you've watched it, Jim, and I'm sure you like it.
Oh, fantastic show.
Ground ball. There's a shot that's going to be a base hit as it goes off the glove of DeRoche's. And the Red Raiders once again have the lead man on, this time in the 6th inning.
I always like to see that man get on his first time up at bat there. Here's that play. Donatello just finds that open spot there to left field. Rounds first base, and he's on first with nobody out.
Andy Donatello's first hit of the game. And the batter is Brian Callahan, now the first baseman. Brian Callahan's been in 3 different positions. He started out as the DH, but never got a chance to do that. Then he pitched for 3 2/3 innings and is now the first baseman. Guy Donnelly's on deck. So again, they have a chance with a runner on to try and score some runs to get something going against Bruce. And the pitch, the first one popped high in the air, coming back for it, and it's going to land just down in the stands, just almost hit a spectator. I thought for a minute there Steve Klein, the Foster's Democrat, was going to make the wicked grab.
Pete, getting back to Seacoast Sports, this is one program, one channel where you can keep up on all the highlights of all high school games, plus the fact that they have highlights of the last time they had skydiving. They have the trainer of the Buffalo Bills talk about his team and the way they train. Very exciting.
Definitely is.
We got a couple more coming up. They have surfing. One fella that's been traveling all over the United States, he'll be on. They'll be interviewing him, or Steve will.
I was going to say, I thought Steve was going to be doing the surfing. Probably there could be some surprises on Seacoast Sports, so you should watch it every Wednesday and Thursday night at 7 o'clock. That's what we want to tell people. But in all honesty, it is certainly a show that I certainly enjoy watching when I can get to it, and I try to every week. And I like to see the highlights, what the coaches say, what the athletes say. You have the athletes on there, and that's what it's all about in Seacoast Sports.
And when the standings are available, we even give that.
Certainly do. Up again to right center field, way up in the air. Grabbed by the right fielder, McDougal, as everybody converged on that one. So there's an out here in the inning. One out. Guy Donnelly coming to the plate, looking to reach base for the first time as he's gone out to the mound and second to first in the second and fourth innings respectively. Speaking of sports, we told you earlier about the girls' Southeast New Hampshire meet. Well, there's a grounder. We'll talk about that later. Back to second, deflected, and double play. As it was deflected to Lees, he stepped on the bag through to first, and the inning is over just like that for the Red Raiders. Nothing across, nobody left. After 6 complete, as we go to the 7th, Exeter 4, Spaulding 2.
When you want great food and a relaxing atmosphere, you want Cardinal's Seafood and Steakhouse. Yes, Cardinal's, serving fresh lobster, mouth-watering prime rib, roasted chicken, and so much more. Cardinal's has been serving delicious meals for over 50 years. If you'd like to help yourself, Cardinal's has a generous food festival buffet, complete with fresh vegetables, ham, roast beef, and more. Cardinal's has based their reputation on freshness and quality. Come and experience a meal at Cardinal's today. Cardinal's Seafood and Steakhouse, exit 15 on the Spaulding Turnpike, Route 11, Rochester.
We're in the top of the 7th inning, and it's 4-2 as Exeter leads the Spaulding High Red Raiders. It's been this way for quite a while, Jim. It's actually since the end of the 3rd inning. The Red Raiders have gotten men on base every inning, have not been able to score.
Yeah, and both teams anticipating big innings. Got one from Exeter, so the Raiders are due.
Well, Brett Elmore's home run, the difference in this game, the cleanup hit of the center fielder for Exeter. Right now it's Dan Clemens, the number 9 batter in the lineup, and the 3rd baseman for the Blue Hawks, leading it off. He struck out and walked, and he got caught stealing after he walked in the 4th inning to end that frame. Fouled right back. We were mentioning, speaking of track meets, we told you about the SNEH, the Southeast New Hampshire Girls Lions meet on the 5th of May. The next week, the 12th of May, there'll be the boys. So that's always a big thing.
Oh, that's
on a Friday night, a huge meet here. And John Doria, the head coach of the Red Raiders, and his very helpful staff. He has a lot of people helping him. And they all do a fine job. And you ought to come out and see some of that if it's a nice night. Because the weatherman has to be cooperative, but he isn't doing very well lately. The wind follows us wherever we go. Hopefully it won't be around by then. Strike called. I mean, a ball rather. 2-1.
Donnelly wanted that pitch too. He seems to be just a little bit outside.
And got him that time on the outside corner. Well, the pitching has really kept them close, except for that one inning where Exeter scored those 3 runs to break that 1-1 tie. The top of the 3rd, the Raiders came back with 1. But that rally stalled, and the swing and a miss. And strike 3 there, 1 out in the inning. If you're looking ahead to the bottom of the 7th, unless pinch hitters come up, you have the 8, 9, and 1 batters scheduled up: Ford, Wickstrom, and Viney for the Red Raiders. It's tough when you get down to those last 3 outs. when you've had some opportunities during the day. Pitch inside. I think probably head coach Hugo Bolin and the Raiders will be unhappy about some mistakes out there today, Jim.
Yeah, when you practice all week long and you see those mental mistakes happening, you wonder why it does.
Well, it's the third game of the week, and of course, as we're doing this game, it's vacation week. Chop foul off the plate for a strike, and it's 1-2 count. And you don't know. We were talking earlier about the fact that there's a problem with varsity experience on this ball club. I still think it's going to take a while, my own personal opinion, for this club. The more they play, the better off they are, and it still should come later on. I don't know whether you agree with me or not.
Oh, I still think that this is a playoff club. They'll make the playoffs. It's just that one little boost, and they'll get that rhythm and that winning ways.
Going to take a big win at some point. The 2-3 now are the Raiders. Of course, Exeter is 2-4, so both clubs struggling right now in the early part of the season, but it's a long haul. Fly ball to right field. Wickstrom coming in under it, makes the grab. And there's 2 down here in the 7th inning.
That ball was put in orbit. Wickstrom got under that ball and made a nice catch.
Well, somewhere along the way, the Raiders are going to put together a string of games. Just looking ahead at the schedule, I noticed one game that they have on May 12th. They're going to be in Keene for a doubleheader. That's always a long, tough trip and a tough place to play. Ground ball, the shot bobbled. Varney stays with it, flips to first, safe at first on the error.
Yeah, there's a play there, Pete, where Varney made the ball play him instead of him playing the ball. If he come in another step or two, he would have had it on the 3rd or 4th bounce. Here's that same play. Ground ball right going down to second base to Varney. And he just hesitated, and he made the ball play him. Safe at first base.
That was it. And the batter will be Matt Bruce, the pitcher. Bruce, as we said, has driven in 2 of the 4 runs.
I'm leaning.
Bruce had a sacrifice fly and a double, so he's helped himself. But the run that made it, the blast that made it 4-2, was that 2-run homer by Brett Elmore. And that stood up. It has stood up the entire ball game. It came
so
with
far.
2 out, 1 out in the 3rd inning. It has stood up to this point. Raiders have had runners on and just haven't been able to get them in. Lined into a double play after opening the inning with a double. 2-0 the count on Bruce. And speaking of Mr. Elmore, he's on deck. Two RBIs by Bruce and the 2 by Elmore. Ground ball to second. Viney this time plays it well over to first. That's the end of the inning. And Exeter fails to score in that inning. We go to the bottom of the 7th with Exeter leading Spaulding 4-2.
Avis, a great name in care for cars, is now in Rochester. It's the new Avis Lube at 303 North Main Street. With the Avis We Try Harder team ready to give your car their 15-point quality car care treatment. They start with quality Citgo oil, a new filter and lube, then a top-to-bottom check of all vital fluids, plus a safety check of lights, tires, brake fluid, and more. At Avis Lube, doing it right is their job, and it only takes 10 minutes with no appointment. Avis Lube, 303 North Main Street in Rochester. Open daily 8 to 6, Sundays 10 to 5.
Alrighty. Well, we're in the 7th inning, and Paul Bushway is going to be pinch hitting for Kevin Ford and leading it off for the Red Raiders. Their last chance. They trail it 4-2 to Exeter. Score we've been repeating consistently since the 3rd inning. And it's been tough for the Red Raiders. We just looked, they had their lead runner on in a couple of innings and wound up going out on a double play, so things just haven't gone well for the Red Raiders in this game offensively, Jim.
No, they've got to make something happen now. Again, I say they've got to get on those base paths.
They do have 8 hits, so that's
pitch.
a pop-up high out into shallow center, I guess. Yes, it is, and Brett Elmore corrals it. Out number 1, the first pitch and the first out of the inning.
I think you help a pitcher out a lot when you're swinging that first pitch.
Now batting, number 14, Brandon Gullison.
Here's Brandon Gullison, another pinch hitter being sent up to the plate by head coach Hugo Bolin of the Red Raiders. You know, it reminds me, this slow start, possibly of what happened in the Legion team last summer, Jim. As you recall, post 7 wound up starting slowly and then got on a winning streak and became the only playoff team in the Seacoast area to get into the tournament because of that. So, and that was due to probably some inexperience, and they went over to the Keene tournament and played a lot of ball games and came off of that and really were outclassed by Concord, whom they beat later on in the season.
That's true.
So this could be a forbearing of good tidings for the Red Raiders. They do have 8 hits tonight, or this afternoon. They do have 8 hits in this game, which is much better than they did against Dover, of course, and they only got 2 in that game. They have put runners on base, but they've left them stranded 2 in those 2 double plays as ball now. 1-1 the count to Gullison.
Yeah, they're making Matt throw that ball now.
Well, Matt Bruce has given up 8 hits, but he's got the defensive plays when you need him, and then he gets the big pop-up this time out into shallow center field. Everybody going out. Here comes Elmore. He calls everybody off and makes a catch for out number 2. You have somebody throwing down in the third base area, the left field area for the Exeter Bluehawks, who are on the verge right now of getting their second win of the season over the Red Raiders. They beat them 5-4 back on April 14th at Eustis Field at Exeter High School. And here we are at Spaulding Field. And Varney, who got a called strike there. Oh for 3 in the game. And the Red Raiders' last hope right now fouls it off, 0-2. Bruce, as we said, has given up 8 hits.
Well, this game isn't over until that 3rd out is made in the bottom of the 7th.
I have 3 strikeouts.
Still breathing.
8 hits, 3 strikeouts for Bruce, 2 runs. And I believe he's only walked 1 batter. And a swing and a miss in the dirt. He's going to tag. No, he can't tag him. The catch and the throw to first, and that's the ball game.
That's it.
That's the game as the Exeter Bluehawks, thanks to that 3-run 3rd inning and the pitching of Matt Bruce when he needed it, some defensive plays, a couple double plays started by Willie Lees, the second baseman, finally break a 4-game losing streak and defeat Spaulding for the 2nd time this season, 4-2.
Well, Pete, this is the first time we've seen this Exeter team play, and they came out here swinging. They have quite a few hits, and do they make any errors?
8 hits. Actually, I have unofficially both teams with 8 hits and errors from the Exeter point of view. They wound up with 1 error, but of course those 2 double plays in the 5th and 6th innings, and the Red Raiders wound up leaving 5 runners, 2 in the 3rd inning when they could have come back at that point and did not. And Exeter winds up winning it 4-2 to go to 3-4 in the season. Spaulding 2-4 on the young campaign. We'll be back with post-game interviews right after this.
Tri-City Car Wash Centers, with locations in Rochester, Somersworth, and now on Central Avenue in Dover, offering the most modern, computerized equipment on the market today, and featuring soft cloth Hannah Magic for the most effective and safest method of cleaning your car. Tri-City Car Wash Centers have specially built dryers that hover just above your car. The result is the best possible wash and most thorough dry. A car is one of your most important possessions, so make it last. Protect your car from New England's unpredictable weather and do it in the best way possible at Tri-City Car Wash Centers in Rochester, Somersworth, and on Central Avenue in Dover.
Hugo Bolin and John Panalides of the Red Raiders have joined us, and Hugo, let's take a look at the positive side of the defense of the ball club this afternoon.
That was it. That was all we could say is that the defense, other than John's bat, he went 3 for 3, 2 doubles and a single, and other than that, that was our offense. Is great defense. And I think we turned 3 double plays. We just had a great defense. Cropper threw out. No one could steal on him, and we just made the big plays today defensively. But as far as the bat goes, you got to have heart when you get up there, and I guess we don't have it. I just don't know what it is. I just, when you can get a guy on second base with no outs and he can't score, and you get a guy on third base with 1 out and you can't score, I think we got a problem. That's been our story this whole season so far. We just cannot, the kid cannot get up there and get the big hit. And the other thing is that we've been taking strikeouts when we don't need them. So I don't know.
You did have 8 hits, but you said there were a couple of times where you left runners on base. Unfortunate thing, Wayne Cropper hit a hard line shot to second baseman. That inning you could have easily scored if it had gone a few inches to the left or right.
Don't say that. That's a little sore spot with John, because he was on second base at the time and he should have been on third base. And if he was on third base, then that type of hit might have been a base hit because the game field would have been in. Close ball game, late innings, I think they might have tried to stop that run. I don't know. But percentage-wise, you know. But I know, Cropper hit the ball well today. He hit the ball, he got robbed in the first inning. The kid made a great shoestring catch on him. And then he did come through with the big hit to knock in 1 run. And then his chance through there, he had that line drive shot that would have been another run if it got a little higher. But it just wasn't in the cards, I guess.
Jim?
John. Overall, the team had 8 hits, I believe, and you got 3 of those 8 hits. Well, what was he throwing out there that you could see that ball all the way, seeing the stitches come across?
Well, I don't know, really. All I saw was fastballs, so I swung it everything I got I swung at except for 1 pitch, which I didn't think it was a strike, but was called a strike. But I swung at all fastballs. I heard he had a curveball, but I don't know.
Well, if you were up at bat now and the way Hugo was talking there, man in first and second, or second and third went out, they probably would have scored more runs. And, Coach, getting back to you, it seemed to me the timely hits. If there was 1 timely hit there, this game would have been reversed with a big W for you.
Oh, there's no doubt about it.
It seems that when you had that man on second and third, and that man either struck out or grounded out, and then the following man flied out the left field.
That's right, and that was wrong guy, wrong hit at the wrong time. That's what I told the kids. That fly ball in the situation we would get a run and been different. Then you play altogether different strategy going into the 9th inning. Instead of needing 2, you need 1. Into the 7th inning. But that's what we've been doing all year, though. See, that's the one thing. The only time we didn't do that was in the Portsmouth and the Winnicott game. We hit the ball very well all the time. But in the first Exeter game, in the Concord game, Dover game, we didn't do any hitting at all. And today, we had the people on, but we just have not been able to drive them home. That's where it comes battle between the pitcher and the batter. Mm-hmm. And that's where you see who's got it. We just haven't had it.
Well, it's a long season. You got quite a few more games to go, and as we spoke earlier, this league is up for anybody to get in the playoffs, not counting who's going to win the big one, the championship game. So you got about 8, 9 more games left. And what I've seen out there, and truthfully speaking, I think you got a team that can make the playoffs.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. We can make the playoff. We just can't put our game together. We just can't put it together. Practice has been doing great. The kids have been doing everything that you ask them to do. We've had great practices, but when we get to the game, we're lacking something. I don't know what it is. And I told the kids we needed this ball game. They're sitting 2-4. This is our game today. We should have won this ball game. It's going to make it tougher now. Losing a game like today is going to make it tough for us now. Because we got to face the teams that are going to be up there in the playoffs. That's what we got to face now. And these are the teams that you want to beat, like an Exeter. And I told them we got to split with them. But I guess we didn't do it.
Well, I'll get back to you, John. The 3 hits, and you also played a real good fielding game out there at third base. So all in all, it wasn't too bad of a day for you, but it would have been a lot better if you had a win.
Yeah, it's kind of a team effort, and we didn't win. Like Coach said, we didn't get the hits when we needed them. We get all these hits, 8 hits, but they're kind of senseless hits because we didn't get them with runners in scoring position.
John scored the only 2 runs, too, right? Didn't you, John?
Yeah, I think so. He scored 2.
So you had a good day.
I guess you did.
So with the long season ahead of us, and by the team playing better ball each game that I see them play, I still say you'll make the first 12.
That's what I like, confidence.
See you, Pete.
Okay, thank you, Jim. All right, so Spaulding loses it. Exeter wins it 4-2, and the Red Raiders drop to 2-4 on the season. Next up for us on Channel 3 will be the Londonderry game under the lights, or the Pinkerton game under the lights on May the 5th. Once again, Exeter 4, Spaulding 2. For Jim Fabiano, I'm Pete Barker. Good night. Kevin Conley is joining me tonight for the color analyst of this game between the Spaulding High Red Raiders and the Dover High Green Wave. Class L baseball here under the lights at Spaulding Field. And with the imminent threat of rain, Kevin, hopefully they can get this game in here tonight, a game that Spaulding really needs. They're 4-6, whereas the Dover Green Wave are 9-3, and we're unofficially coming into this week in 3rd place. So the Red Raiders want to get back at the 1-0 loss that they had down at Dover back in April 26, and they're going to send Guy Donnelly to the mound against Tim Sawyer of the Dover Green Wave. It's, we said, a coolish evening here, and the threat of rain is definitely imminent, but do you think that will change the strategy of this ball game any?
Well, I think both